To 21st century America, let us pledge these things. Every child will begin school ready to learn and graduate ready to succeed. Every family will be able to succeed at home and at work, and no child will be raised in poverty. We will meet the challenge of the aging of America. We will assure quality, affordable health care at last for all Americans. We will make America the safest big country on earth. We will bring prosperity to every American community. We will reverse the course of climate change and leave a safer, cleaner planet. America will lead the world towards shared peace and prosperity in the far frontiers of science and technology. And we will become at last what our founders pledged us to be so long ago. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's no secret that here at home, freedom's door opened long ago. The cornerstones of this free society have already been set in place. Democracy, competition, opportunity, private investment, stewardship, and of course, leadership. And our challenge today is to take this democratic system of ours, a system second to none, and make it better. A better America, where there's a job for everyone who wants one, and where every one of us enjoys the same opportunities to live, to work, and to contribute to society. Where everyone has a roof over his head and where the homeless get the help they need to live in dignity. Where no American is forgotten.
Tax reduction alone, however, is not enough to strengthen our society, to provide opportunities for the 4 million Americans who are born every year, to improve the lives of 32 million Americans who live on the outskirts of poverty. The quality of American life must keep pace with the quantity of American goods. This country cannot afford to be rich and desperately poor. We need to strengthen our nation by making the best and most economical use of its resources and facilities. Our economic health depends on having healthy transportation arteries. And I believe the way to a more modern, economical choice of national transportation service is through increased competition and decreased regulation. Local mass transit, faring even worse, is as essential a community service as highways.
And I must say to you that the state of the Union is not good. Millions of Americans are out of work. Recession and inflation are eroding the money of millions more. Prices are too high and sales are too slow.
Now we badly need reforms in other key areas in our economy: the airlines, trucking, railroads, and financial institutions. I have submitted concrete plans in each of these areas, not to help this or that industry, but to foster competition and to bring prices down for the consumer.
I will recommend heavier reliance on competition in transportation and a new policy for our merchant marine. I will ask for funds to study high-speed rail transportation between urban centers.
For community development, for economic development, for education. And I look forward to working with the Congress, with members of both parties, in resolving whatever remaining differences we have in this legislation, so that we can make available nearly $5.5 billion to our states and localities to use, not for what a federal bureaucrat may want, but for what their own people in those communities want. The decision should be theirs. I think all of us recognize that the energy crisis has given new urgency to the need to improve public transportation, not only in our cities, but in rural areas as well. The program I propose this year will give communities not only more money, but also more freedom to balance their own transportation needs. It will mark the strongest federal commitment ever to the improvement of mass transit as an essential element of the improvement of life in our towns and cities.
Our next major undertaking must be a program just as bold, just as innovative to make government again accountable to the people, to make our system of federalism work again.
A resurgent American economy would do more to restore the confidence of the world in its own future than anything else we can do.
From the first railroads to the interstate highway system, our nation has always been built to compete. There's no reason Europe or China should have the fastest trains or the new factories that manufacture clean energy products. We can put Americans to work today building the infrastructure of tomorrow.
Our citizens feel they've lost control of even the most basic decisions made about the essential services of government, such as schools, welfare, roads, and even garbage collection. And they're right. A maze of interlocking jurisdictions and levels of government confronts average citizens in trying to solve even the simplest of problems. They don't know where to turn for answers, who to hold accountable, who to praise, who to blame, who to vote for or against. The national government should be worrying about arms control, not potholes.
And I must say to you that the state of the union is not good.
I am thinking of our democracy. I am thinking of the recent trend in other parts of the world away from the democratic ideal. Democracy has disappeared in several other great nations. Disappeared not because the people of those nations disliked democracy, but because they had grown tired of unemployment and insecurity, of seeing their children hungry, while they sat helpless in the face of government confusion, government weakness, weakness through lack of leadership in government. Finally, in desperation, they chose to sacrifice liberty in the hope of getting something to eat. We in America know that our own democratic institutions can be preserved and made to work. But in order to preserve them, we need to act together, to meet the problems of the nation boldly, and to prove that the practical operation of democratic government is equal to the task of protecting the security of the people. I came to the conclusion that the present-day problem calls for action, both by the government and by the people, that we suffer primarily from a failure of consumer demand because of lack of buying power. Therefore, it is up to us to create an economic upturn.